Well, Merry Christmas and welcome to Together Forward's YouTube channel. I'm Annette Blankenship. For the holiday season, we wanted to do something special. So we're gifting everyone one of the lessons that we have in our project management course called Method to the Madness. And in this course, we talk about what is project management and why do we need it. So last week, we talked about what is project management and what is a project. This week, we're going to continue that as part 2 with why do we need it. So stay tuned and have a Merry Christmas.
So why do we need it? The ability to deliver projects on schedule and on budget and aligned with the business goals is key to gaining an edge in today's highly competitive global business environment. Since projects are how companies move their strategy forward to accomplish their strategic goals and help company grow in money and impact, good project management gives us a proven process to align the goals of the business with the projects and get them completed. When projects are done properly with a repeatable process, it gives organizations the confidence that we're delivering a real valuable solution to a business problem or opportunity. We also need it because it gives leadership and direction to our projects. So when you have a project team, unless you, the leader, are there to kind of guide them and show them, remind them of vision and where we're trying to get to, sometimes it can be like cats, like just roaming all over the place because that's what they think. So the project management really helps give that leadership and direction to the project. And then organization and process expertise. We also need project management because in the project management discipline, it teaches us how to organize things. It teaches us how best practices based on what you're trying to do will need to be flowing. So that is why we need project management. I want to give you a story, kind of just to illustrate why we need it. Many years ago, I was working with a large company. We had a huge strategic project that was in the ditch. The project was linked to multiple state data for compliance purposes, and different companies were not on the same system. So it was, one parent entity with lots of children entities. The assigned leader, the project manager, was at his wit's end. He believed he was working hard to get the project done and doing all the right things. And he believed that the project scope was defined. He had a timeline, but he had not been updated in over a month by the project team because he said the team didn't give him good updates or that they made excuses. So when I was asked to pick this up and lead this team, I had only a couple of projects up under my belt, not really anything large, but I was, I guess, at the time, the best they had, so to speak, in terms of taking this one project leader off and putting somebody new on. So the first thing I did is I went and talked to the team. And then the team said they just didn't know what to do, that everyone seemed to have a different perspective. There was a long list of issues, but none of it was documented. Morale was low, and everyone was talking about being on a sinking ship. It was complete chaos. No one knew what to do. The scope of the project wasn't clear. The project schedule was in the past. So here we were, new to this larger company. They had just taken us over, and the first project they assigned us was in the ditch. Like I said, I was a relatively new project manager. I was asked to step in and lead the project. I had had some successes with smaller projects, like I said before, but this enterprise project, I did not think I was ready. I mean, I barely knew how to get these projects off the ground. So how was I going to bring order out of this chaos? My boss assured me that I could do it, and he left me to handle it. So I started looking at information that I had on the project. The year before, I had taken a class much like this one on the basics of project management, and I started there. I just followed the process, and because of the basics, I learned to put a method to that madness, and the process gave me confidence and a path to get the project over that finish line. So why do we need project management? Because it helps us to get things done most efficiently and effectively. When it comes to your company's strategic projects, they are the most important things to get your company where they want to go and take it to the next level. So what is strategy? I've been talking about strategy for the past few minutes, and I'm sure, you're like, I've heard that word and I kind of know what it means, but what does it really mean? So there's lots of different definitions. This is the best one that I like. It's simple and it kind of tells me what it is that we're trying to do with strategy. So strategy is the decisions and plans made on how resources will be used to gain an advantage or reduce a weakness to achieve an overall aim. Like I said before, resources can be people, money, equipment, information, networks, and suppliers, other assets. And strategy, it was derived from a Greek word, strategos, meaning the art of the general. And so in terms of generals were to create strategy based on a number of high-level factors and gave orders to the soldiers who would line up to execute on those tactics. If you study historical generals, you'd see how good strategy was the biggest indicator of them being a good general. So that's where the leadership part comes in. So in current times, our strategy is led by our executive leadership team in our business. And in our world, the executive leadership team develops the strategy to move the company forward in the direction they feel will help them get from where they are to where they want to be. Resources, like we talked about before, are finite, so creating a direction on where they want to go is important to being able to achieve it. So typically a strategy, again, it's a high-level plan developed by the leadership team, enables achievement of that desired result within 3 to 5 years. And like I said a minute ago, it moves the company from where they are to where they want to be. So how does this differ from projects? Let's look at some examples of strategic goals. So let's say the leadership team said we needed to grow our revenue by 14% or to $8 million per year. In that case, that would be their strategic goal. Or it could be that they want to reduce spending by 10%. That would be another goal. Or maybe we're having some issues, or they just want to kick it up a notch for our customer satisfaction. Maybe we're 75% because we've taken surveys and we know that information, and we want to move it to 85%. Or maybe, we're having an issue where employees are leaving, or positions, or we just want to retain those employees and up that number by 10%. So all of those would be examples of strategic goals of how do we increase something? How do we create a competitive advantage? How do we, receive more bang for our buck, so to speak? How do we engage our employees more? So all of those are examples of strategic goals. And so from there, we might develop strategies. So in order to grow our revenue 14%, we may need to add new products or new services. We may need to increase our prices. We may need to cross-sell to current customers. We might need to sell into new markets. So all of those would be examples of strategies. We might want to, like we said before, we might want to reduce our spending by 10%. So then in that case, we might want to take look at all of our vendors and renegotiate contracts, or we might just need to add new technology for efficiency. So if we spend $100,000, maybe we, gain $300,000 back in reducing our spending. Or maybe we decided that we wanted to reduce our spending by 10%. In that case, we might take a look at all the vendors, renegotiate their contracts, or we might just add new technology and increase efficiency there. Or we may just decide that, we're spending too much money on travel and we need to reduce our travel expenses. In our strategic goal of increasing customer satisfaction from 75 to 85%, it may be that we need to strengthen customer service skills of our employees. So we take a look at our skill sets over there. It may be that we need to incorporate a feedback loop, or we need to review every touch point that's made from the customer and improve processes. So each one of those would be examples of our strategy. This is how we're going to get there. Or in terms of the increased employee retention by 10%, we may need to review the recruiting process, or we might need to offer right benefits or right candidate testing. So just because we lay out a strategic goal doesn't mean that we know exactly how we want to resolve that goal. We just know it's an end result that we want to get to. So being able to come up with more strategies kind of gives us that next level deeper into how we're going to execute on that strategic goal. But even this is too high level and needs to be broken down a little bit more. So that's where the projects come in. So projects, so if we said we needed to add a new product, we might need to do a project to just analyze whether or not we want to buy the new product or we want to build the new product. And then in that would be a project to do just that. So let's say that, we finish that analysis and we decide we want to actually build it, but we want to do a pilot first. So we would do a pilot project. Or maybe we've done all the back end work and we just need to implement it. So Here's, what we want to do, and here's the high level. Now go do it. Or it could be like in our example of review all vendors and renegotiate the contracts. From there, we might have a few projects to come out of that. So we want to analyze the top 20 vendor spend and, just focus on those top 20 and have a actual project to do that. And then once we, got our top 20, we might want to take it to the next step and renegotiate contracts with those 20 vendors, or a subset of that, 10. And then it may be that we just want to send them out, to rebid. So then that would be a project there. In the incorporated customer feedback loop of the, customer strategy, we may come up with a research project to see why what are some things that we can do to increase our customer satisfaction from 75 to 85%. So that may be a research project. And once we get that feedback, we might do some sort of pilot project. Again, these iterative things. And then maybe we decide, these are the things that we want to do out of that pilot project, and we actually go in and implement them. Or it could be that we need to just revamp a current system because that's what they're not happy with. So you see how there's all sorts of different ways to solve the incorporated customer feedback loop, and projects are the way we do it. And sometimes we have 2 or 3 different things going on, and in order to really to figure out what it is that we need to do. So there may be sub phases of projects. And some people may even throw them all together, all of these things, and incorporate a customer feedback loop. They may just throw them all together. So in the instance of the right candidate testing, we may decide that we just need to do an analysis of needs. We may figure out, what is it about testing that we're not getting right? Maybe we've never done it before, and we just need to assess what our needs are. So then we might want to put together an analysis of needs and get that done, and then come back and take a look at what you guys found out. And that would be a project because you would want to have multiple people on there. Or it could be, a build versus buy project where we could build it in-house, or we have several companies that we want to look at, and being able to assess the different strengths and weaknesses there. Or it could be that we've got 5 different companies that we're taking a look at, and we want to pilot some things with these companies and see which one get the best results. And then maybe we pick one and we want to just move forward with it and implement that particular testing software. Or it could be that we have a process already for right candidate testing, and it's just a breakdown in the process. So any of those examples that we've got here are example projects from the strategies that our leadership team comes up with. So every company has a story and a journey of where it's been and where it is now, where it wants to go. A goal, a destination, or a desired result of where we want to end up starts with setting the strategic goals. Some examples what we've talked about in there, and once those goals are met, like we talked about, a strategy can be created to figure out where we want to go. So strategy gives us the map of where we want to end up. Then project management drills down into the tactics using a process to get there. It's the carrying out or putting into effect a plan or cause of action. In other words, it's an efficient process based on years of best practices that executes the strategy. Project management bridges the gap between the strategy map and the execution results. As project managers, you can have the greatest impact on your company's success by creating a viable plan and then making sure to execute on it. There's a lot that goes into that, and we're going to hit the highlights on all of it in this course. A word of caution though, all of this sounds awesome and easy, but there are many challenges. Leadership strategy isn't always clear or communicated, and that makes a PM jobs harder. But in this training, I want to give you the information that you need to know, because the risk is there, and provide you with the tools you need to draw out enough information for you to be able to think about your projects in a whole new way and compare what you have to what you need, and ask enough questions to be able to draw out the true needs of the project to execute on it. Each organization is unique and requires a strategic mindset to be able to break through the barriers and get your projects implemented on time, within budget, and then within scope. So if strategy is the roadmap and project management is the vehicle that executes on that map and gets each project from its current state to its future state, then you can imagine that there's more than just one project to complete. Okay, so we talked about what is a project, the fact that it's temporary and unique. We talked about what is project management. It's a process that solves the problem of how to implement projects efficiently. And why do we need it? Because we want to help our organizations implement their strategy and put the tactics in place to get a project done and help them to be successful.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button. Every like helps us to reach new people. And if you want to see new videos on leadership, strategy, and project management to help you with your business or career every week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Also, please let us know what your top leadership, strategy, and project management challenges are so that we can make some new videos in the future with your feedback. Thank you for watching. I'm Annette Blankenship, and I'll see you in the next video.